and says, "Did you vote in the last presidential election?" No. I have honestly never voted. I've never even actually been registered to vote. I When I became one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I was around, let's see, uh, 1980. So I was around 22, I believe it was. Yeah, 22. And I had never registered to vote or anything at that point, um, because I didn't really like, even before I became a witness, I didn't like a lot of the things I saw in politics. I didn't like how people behaved. I didn't like the fact that they made promises, and as a general rule, they it wasn't necessarily that they didn't keep promises. It was that I could see that the way the government ran, that many times people simply couldn't keep promises and things. So it wasn't practical to me as a person to rely on a source who simply couldn't follow through with their promises and couldn't solve various problems. And when I came to understand what God's will was, and that He never originally planned for us to be ruling over each other, I could see why things were such a mess, because we were trying to do something and we were never meant to do, and we're not equipped to do. Humans simply don't have the power.
I've never been a political activist. And then there's the part of me that says that it's just my vote and it really doesn't matter. Which I know if you carry that out logically, if everyone thought that way, no one would vote. But I know that's not the case. And then I just refuse to allow politicians to suck me into this constant he said, she said game that divides people.
I did not vote previously. And the reason is because I figured it was in the bag that Trump would win, even if I wasn't necessarily wanting, Trump to be president. I didn't want neither of them to be president. But, I figured Trump would win it overall. So, again, I didn't figure it was worth me going and wasting my time. I have to work, and where I had to work now, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I have my own little photography business. So I could now if I wanted to, but I don't feel like taking even a second away from my son on something that, I don't feel like I'll have a big input in, especially since I don't really have a preference on either one of them. So I didn't vote.
First of all, I really wasn't super psyched about either of the candidates. And in general, I just feel slightly like, trying to think of the right word. I can't remember the right word, but like kind of like almost just like disconnected and like not super a fan of just like how politics in the United States work, and how like I don't know, it just doesn't really feel super, just like politics don't feel super productive and super like a lot of time, like it just feels like a popularity contest, and something that a lot of like just like ridiculous thing, like with the election 4 years ago, just like the candidates are much more interested in bashing the other candidate than they are actually like focusing on like in my mind like it should be more about like, hey, like I like here is like the like what I am planning to do in office, and here's how I'm planning on doing it, and if you agree with me, great, vote for me, and if not, that's totally okay. Like it shouldn't be like it should just be about running the country. And that being said, I also do care about like it doesn't, like, the way that the candidates act also, I think, plays a big role in like how I feel about them. Like, just thinking about like that candidate like in like basically as representing the United States in diplomatic occasions, like that's important to have someone that I think is capable of doing that.